Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thanks to everyone that's subscribed already. I really do appreciate it, and it's really growing nicely and it's inspiring me to keep going. So if you wouldn't mind subscribing, I'd really appreciate it. So today we're talking about embossing folders. Now I'm sure lots of you have got lots of embossing folders and don't really know what to do with them other than just run them through a machine as standard embossing, which is like this, which looks absolutely gorgeous, and when you're working white on white it's incredible. And then you get a deboss side as well. Now, have you thought about colouring in that embossing? Because you've got a raised area there, it's really easy to get your jelly roll pens in there and just colour in that deboss section, and it looks beautiful. Now on the reverse, so you've got the deboss side, because that's the emboss side, you've got the deboss side, use a fine liner and just go into all those lines. It's really easy to follow it around because they're already grooves, if you like, so it's really simple to do. Now, one of my favourites is to ink the folder. So this is the deboss side. Now, by deboss side, I mean the back. So you run your folder through normally. You'd have your card up the right way facing up, and this is the deboss. And you just run your ink pad along there really gently. So pop your card face down on the colour that you want it to do. So you would go like that, and then run it through your machine. And it puts an impression, almost like letter pressing, into the card. And it's just really simple to do. So really nice one. Now this one is when you do it the other way. So if you put the ink pad across the front of the border that you're using, or sorry, any embossing folder that you're using, be it, you know, border, corner, 8x8s, 6x4s, 7x5s, all of them, it works for all of them. So you just run your ink pad along the back of the front side, and then that's the effect you get. So the embossing comes up white, but the ink goes into the areas where there's no embossing, and that looks really nice too, doesn't it? Then this one's really grungy. I quite like this look actually. So this is the deboss side. So I've ran it through and embossed it and inked over the top, but I don't really like that effect. I think it's quite messy. I prefer to deboss the ink into it. But then what you can do is you just run a pad straight along the top of it like that, so it's like wood. And it just gives a really fantastic effect, I think. Really nice and grungy, that one. Now, ribbon. Who'd have thought? Ribbon. So this is a really cheap ribbon. It's just satin, and it's not even double-sided. It's very thin. You can see my fingers through it, so it's very thin. All I did was fold it in half, and then I ran it through my embossing machine, and it works. So all sorts of ribbon you could do that with. Now, use a shim. So by a shim I mean an extra piece of paper. So pop this into the embossing folder, and then when the embossing folder's closed, have some paper or some card on top of it, and then run it through, and you'll get that impression a little bit deeper into it. Tissue paper, what a great one. Already comes folded, and then you fold it again so it's to the size that you want it, and then you run the whole thing through your machine, and you end up with a whole sheet of tissue paper. I won't open it right up, but it's all done at both sides. A whole sheet of embossed tissue paper. Now how fabulous is that? You get debossed and you get embossed, so it's quite nice. Now when you give your gifts and you pop this into the bag, fluff it all up and pop it in, people are going to think you've paid premium money for that. It's our little secret. Now just bring over the black card for a minute, because you can see vellum better on black. So vellum looks absolutely stunning, doesn't it? It's really beautiful. I do like the effect of vellum on there. And when you use parchment, which is next, parchment comes up even stronger. You get a much deeper emboss on there, and the deboss side looks just as beautiful too. So add those to your card just as strips or as whole panels. Really beautiful. Now parchment, when I put the ink on the folder at the back I showed you, if you do that with parchment it works as well, and it inks into the grooves as well, and it looks really beautiful. And if you just want to look at the back where it's embossed, it does have like a subtle effect to it as well, so that looks really cool too. Now black magic, which is like a core card, but not really a core card. It's two-sided, so you've got black on the front and you've got another colour on the back, which is blue in this case. So what you do is you run it through, and where the embossed area is, you just put a sanding block along there. So keep it in the folder. So once it's come out of the machine, so you've been through like that and it's come out, so oops, sorry, keep it in the folder and then sand it, because that way these little raised areas are helping, when you're pushing against it with a sanding block, are helping that to protrude a little bit more and you won't flatten it as much. There's a little tip for you. And then this is the opposite side, so where it's debossed, and you sand the top. And what that does is it leaves the black in place. So it's just taking off the surface where it's not been embossed. So there's a different way about that. Bring back the black card for the acetate. So you can see here the acetate looks absolutely gorgeous, and it's great for wraps. This is. It looks really, really nice. So I do like that effect. It looks cool on the debossed side as well. Obviously this is crinkled a bit. If you can't alter the pressure of your machine, you may get that, but I don't mind it, to be honest. And then we've got gilding wax. So I just rubbed this on with my finger. So obviously because I'm using a finger, it's gone in to the flower on the outside a little bit, which I don't mind, to be honest, but it looks really nice. Really effective gilding wax. And then on mirror card, wow. What do you need to say? Look at mirror card, it's beautiful, isn't it? It's just outstanding. It's just lovely. That's the embossed side and that's the debossed side. So you get effects with both of those. Now this is colour core. So this one has got a different colour on the inside. It's Coordinations cardstock. And when you rub it back, you get that inside colour come through. So that's on the debossed and sanded. And this is on the embossed and sanded. So that's a really nice effect too. Now this one is just craft card. And what I've done is I've put acrylic paint on it, and then I've sanded it all back to reveal some of the craft card. Now you can go a little bit stronger on this and take more of the paint off if you want, but I actually quite like that look. Well, thanks for watching, guys. I hope that's given you some inspiration, and I'd love to see your projects, so share them with me on Facebook. Thanks for watching. Bye.